You know what it really is, honestly?
What's that?
This is super nerdy to say in an interview, but when I was 30, when I turned 30, I never had any like acne or skin problems my whole life
Oh,
when I was a kid.
weird flex, but okay.
And I turned 30, I wouldn't leave the house. It like attacked me. And
Wow.
dermatologist said I had adult acne. That's what it's called. So I started using Proactive. I should be on the commercials.
I thought we were in a commercial.
That's it.
Hashtag ad.
That's my skincare regimen.
Yeah.
That's it.
All
Everyone's
right.
like, "Are you a vampire?" I'm like, "Nope. I'm just like Adam Levine. I use Proactive."
I think you're better looking than Adam Levine.
That's a tall order, bro.
Well, you know,
That guy.
he's handsome.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Sorry, I forgot you guys were all here. What's
Sorry.
up? It's Tank from X106.5, Jacksonville's new alternative. We're here with Ryan from Yellow Card. Big weekend for you and your band.
The biggest.
I don't know why I said it like that. For you and your band, but you guys celebrating the 20th anniversary of Ocean Avenue to a couple damn near sold out shows here in your hometown.
Yeah. Saturday night sold out. We're holding out hope tonight's gonna make it. We're close.
Close, really close. So
But
if you
but
don't
it
have
doesn't
tickets
really
yet-
matter if tonight sells out or not. The sheer fact that we've sold more than 8,000 tickets in Jacksonville just doesn't compute to me.
That's amazing. You guys
Doesn't
can clap for that. Yeah. These guys are hard to impress. You know what I mean?
It's-
They're off work in the middle of the day, so they don't really.
It's just wild.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that 20 years ago, you know what I mean? Like, you guys have been a band for longer than 20 years, but Ocean Avenue having such an impact, multi-generational at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you guys have people who are now playing this music for their kids.
Well, one of the most fascinating things at these shows, which have all been kind of on this level of shocking as far as how many people are coming to the shows, the size of the venues we're playing, every night, I'd say there's a solid like 30-40% of the crowd when I kind of run through, like, have you ever seen us play before? Have you not seen us play in a long time? And then I ask, is this your first time? It almost feels like more people raise their hand and cheer for first time than do for I've seen you before some nights. It's crazy.
Well, you know.
So, I mean, that's all. Yeah, it's young people. I think it's people that, to be honest, man, however you feel about like a lot of what's been going on in the music business for the last 2 decades, just everything sort of, the conglomerates being made and sort of the monopolies that have happened. And I got to say that we did this whole tour with Live Nation, and I think we owe it like 90% of it to them, because you have all of these people who listened to Ocean Avenue when it was on the radio in 2004, maybe didn't keep up with the 7-8 other records we made after that because they weren't on the radio.
Right.
But now you have a company that is putting so much behind the marketing of the tour and putting the ads on the radio. People are going, well, wait, I love that. I didn't know they were still a band. I love that band. I want to see that. And so we have this just massive machine that's like helping promote the tour, and that has to be a huge part of it, because we were talking about this before we came out here. 10 years ago, we had trouble selling out Mavericks downtown.
Yeah,
One of the reasons we decided not to be a band anymore is because we were losing traction. People, we were struggling to sell out the venues that we were accustomed to playing. And so that decision was to sort of let's walk away, bow out on our own terms. Let's make it special for the fans. But we really were done. We thought it was over. It's like, we can't sell 1,000 tickets in our hometown anymore. It's time to maybe think about other options in life. So this is just surreal. It's just surreal to think that there's like 8 times that many people coming to see us this weekend.
Yeah, because it's not
crazy.
even just here. I mean, you guys had a huge
Yeah,
night in Atlanta, Detroit,
everywhere.
Philly. Everywhere's having
every show.
Yeah,
The tour itself is just over 80% sold out.
that's amazing.
It's unbelievable. I mean, really, we just don't know what's going on. It's like surreal.
What?
Thank you.
So I think that's a great point. And also, there's a thing. It's weird because you think of like when the Eagles were doing like songs in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as you guys doing the album Ocean Avenue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same kind of thing.
Well, I think people are still really connected to the record in a major way. It's from like that period in their life. One of the things about, I think, the band in 2003, 2004, when the record came out, was really gaining steam. Most of the people listening to our band, I feel like, were our peers. I don't think we were. Obviously, with the radio that we got at one point, there was a swell of a lot of younger fans. Just everyone was coming to the shows and stuff because it was on the radio. But I think that the core of our fan base has really grown up with us, and our are in a lot of ways similar in age, you know, or just a little bit behind us, because that record came out when everyone was in their early 20s. You know, that style of music was really surging in a big way.
Yeah.
And we wrote this record about like leaving home and jumping off the cliff into adulthood on your own. And I think that, you know, that's the, sort of the core theme of that album. And people were just ready to hear that at that exact moment.
Right.
And I think, you know, we didn't know what to expect on the tour. If it was like, and not even just the tour. Go back to like Riot Fest last year when we played. That was our first show back in six and a half years. We didn't know if the feeling was truly going to be like, okay, this is just a nostalgic moment for people, you know, special moment to celebrate the album, and then kind of not really have much going on, you know, for like the encore songs or really any interest in anything outside of Ocean Avenue. We didn't know what it was going to be like.
Right.
But the show was just like, I mean, it did not feel that way. When we walked out on stage, it felt like the most insane crowd, like swelling of energy, like, you know, for us to perform. And that's when we decided there's something more than just the birthday of an album is happening here, you know?
Yeah,
and we wanted to
absolutely.
keep going.
Absolutely. And it seems like to me, like, because I think of you guys as more than Ocean Avenue, because, you know, I was with you afterwards. I remember when Lights and Sounds got debuted on the OC. You know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
Like, that was a big deal for me, because I love the OC. Shout out to Marissa Cooper. But it's like, it's one of those things where you guys didn't stick with what the formula was that got you your first stuff. And do you think that, who do you blame for radio dropping the ball on not playing the songs? Because, you know, I know some of the people that I work for aren't that smart.
It's a long story. Longer than we have to tell
Okay,
the whole
fair
story
enough,
today,
fair
but I will say that obviously with Lights and Sounds, we went in a very different direction musically. I think we wanted to make a rock and roll record and not a pop punk record.
Yeah, you nailed it.
And I think you know, as happens a lot with bands, at young bands that have that early success, your second album should be your third album. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
Paper Walls should have been the second album, and Lights and Sounds. But either way, a lot of factors went into it, man. Like, I was not taking very good care of myself, you know, mentally, physically. On the outside, it was pretty shiny happy. Like, obviously, we had all these amazing things happening for us, but internally, it was not a very healthy place to be, a healthy place to work. It was, we were pretty lost in the darkness at that time, and that record, Lights and Sounds, really reflects that. You can hear it, you know. So I think people were not expecting to get to hear that side of our what we were going through at the time, but funny enough, Lights and Sounds, the actual song, charted higher than any song we've ever had.
Yeah.
But the part about not taking care of myself for a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, like, as we were ascending on this like meteoric rise that we never thought was going to happen, I ended up having to have surgery on my vocal cords.
Oh my!
In 2006, because I was just a mess. I was just destroyed. I mean, I weighed like 130 pounds soaking wet. I mean, I was a mess.
I weighed 130 pounds. Second grade was crazy.
And you know, I was just a mess, and so I ended up having surgery. And during that downtime, when you're in the major label game, there's no such thing. There's no downtime's not allowed.
Right.
So they had just started promoting the second single, and it was doing pretty well, but we couldn't tour anymore. So it was just Lights and Sounds just died right there, just dead in the water.
Yeah.
And by the time we made Paper Walls, which was crazy, Lights and Sounds came out in January. We were in the studio recording Paper Walls in October of the same year.
Wow.
So we were ready to just get back and figure it out and fix it all, you know? So we made that record. Label was freaking out. They loved it. But then the financial collapse happened, and Capitol disbanded and got bought by another company, and we just got totally lost in the shuffle. You know, it was Katy Perry and Coldplay were there. That's who was making the money for them, really.
Right.
And so anybody below a certain threshold that they were, and because Lights and Sounds had already sort of, you know, had a not successful run to them, they kind of just said, we're going to let you go, let you out of your contract and move on. So that's where the radio play disappeared.
It's weird that different people have different definitions of success. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Yeah. So what album would you say are you most proud of that you did after? Because you know, Ocean Avenue being your biggest one, you know, that's probably got a special place for you. But afterwards, what would you say is like your favorite?
My favorite Yellow Card record is with like, I don't know, with the audience at large, probably an unpopular opinion, but with a lot of like core fans, this album has actually aged very well. when at first it came out, and it had a very similar Lights and Sounds experience where
Uh-huh.
people were like, what is this? What are you doing? But Lift a Sail, the record we put out in
Okay.
2014, I think that record is the most we've ever challenged ourselves to step outside of a genre-fied box, you know? And we really wanted to get in touch with sort of our 90s kid alternative
Sure,
and
yeah.
grunge roots, you know? Like, for as much as those early albums we made sounded like they had this kind of, you know, punk, pop punk, whatever you want to call it, influence, like I never really listened to that kind of music. It's like I ended up playing in those bands, but you know, we wanted to make like a Smashing Pumpkins record once,
Right,
so we're
yeah,
like, let's
yeah.
do that, you know. And when you do what we do, you know, you do get burnt out on things, and you want to try new stuff.
Sure,
And it's a huge risk because when you're known for a certain thing and you try something that different, you run the risk of the people that support you, you know, just not being happy with the choice you made. And that's happened to us a couple of times, but you know, we made the records we wanted to make all along. That's one thing that you could say about our band is we've always made the records we wanted to make. We never were told by anyone what kind of music to write,
Yeah.
you know, what direction to take. And but Lift a Sail is also just an extremely personal record for me. I was going through a lot at that time in my life that, you know, music's always a good therapeutic output, or, you know, good source of like expressing what you're feeling, but I really needed it at that time. So
Yeah, that's great.
it's a heavy record,
Yeah.
like emotionally, lyrically. It's,
Sure,
it's
sure.
really heavy. So
That's that Douglas Anderson kind of.
that's right. I was a theater
chutzpah.
major. I am an emo kid. You know, so.
So, do you remember when we played football? Do you remember the beach football we
Was
did?
it when? Did we
It
have
was on
another
the
band
final
with
tour.
us?
You had the band. The band was there. It was just you guys.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. We did it as like a thing for the
at
radio.
Jack's Beach, and then like,
Yes.
some listeners were there.
That's right. That's right.
And I was the quarterback. Can you rate my quarterback skills on a scale of 1 to 10?
10.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I was dropping dimes and spitting
You
rhymes.
were.
Yeah,
You
it
were.
was crazy. And you made a
You were.
diving catch. Do you remember?
Yeah, dude.
The video.
The like, I watched that video 1,000 times.
Me too. Every day.
You know when you're like not a sports. Well, I mean, I played sports
Yeah,
growing up.
yeah.
I was like a very confused, super nerdy, also super athletic kid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, like I was like taking dance lessons and acting and theater, but then I was also playing ice hockey and soccer, and I was
Sure.
too small for football, but I played a lot of sports. So when you do something like that as an adult, you like if it's on film, it's your highlight. You want to watch it forever.
Absolutely,
You're like,
yeah.
I should have gone pro.
That's the.
I should have gone pro, dude.
You made like
Look at that one arm just rolled into it. Score.
full on OBJ is what you did.
It was
You did-
amazing.
It was amazing. It was
amazing.
great. And I can't say congratulations enough. I think you guys deserve all this success, and it's so great to have you back in your hometown,
wild,
playing
man.
these big shows and just doing what, frankly, you should be doing these kind of numbers. So it's great to have you, and we're very excited for the Farrah and Farrah Performance Studio performance, and let you get warmed up so these people can get the show that they
All right.
came
Cheers.
for.
Let's do it.
Thanks, buddy.